All right, that we just got the official signal that we are recording in progress. So that means we are back on the Film the Hunt podcast. And this is our second video podcast. I'm super glad we finally figured this out, that we could do this via Zoom. I mean, my gosh, here we are.
I know, which isn't as personable, but still we can do a couple more and spend some time with people we otherwise can't. So
yeah. I mean, me living up here in the deep sticks in the Bering North, I mean, it's super hard to like even see another person. So it's, thank God I was able to wind up the internet this morning and do this. So, Tom, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I got a cup and a 3/4 of coffee in me already this morning. I've been doing a little work, so I'm awake. It's another day, as you always say, 6 feet above ground, brother. So I'm good.
Yeah,
How about
man.
yourself?
Same, man. It's a lot's going on. Life is busy, and
Yeah.
but it's July 29th. We are almost on that 30-day mark for elk season. So, which is
Dude, that kind of freaks me out.
It does a little bit.
Yeah. Oh man, I haven't counted the days and probably since it was about 70 out. So hearing 30 freaks me out.
Yeah, and shoot. I mean, it just was yesterday we were turkey hunting. So
yeah, I know.
And cool thing for Become One is you got 2 elk tags this year, Colorado and Montana.
Yeah,
so
I do, and yep, Nick's got Montana. So
yeah,
3 between the 2 of us. By God, it's dare I say no more.
We broke the ice. We broke the ice twice. I'll say this. So Nick broke it last year in getting his first one with the bow and getting him one, for the Become One team. And then you and I finally filmed a successful hunt this spring, so we broke that ice as well too. So I mean, we're just gonna go in, sling an arrow, hit the
hashtag 2021.
Tommy gets it done, and that world tour is kicked off.
The world tour, you better believe it, man. No, I'm excited for it. I think you're right. Hearing that 30 days out it does scare me a little bit, but I am excited. I just can't allow myself to get excited quite yet because, as you said, we are very, very busy. We collectively, amongst me, you, and Nick, but then also you've got your other stuff going on, your side gig, and everybody's got the family stuff they're juggling. Nick's got a new baby. I've got an 8-year-old that's trying to fit everything into the last few weeks before she goes back to school. So yeah, I'm excited. But there's a lot of work to get done, not just with, the TV shows and all that stuff. But as you know, each year, Jordan, we've got a checklist of things that we've got to go through prior to, worst case, August 14th or so,
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, not only hunting gear, but camera gear, because we obviously record everything, but so that's double a workload right there off the bat, because they're equally both important. And that's what's nice about us three is we work very well as a team. So for anyone that is doing what we do, producing any kind of content, hopefully you have a solid team. You have someone to rely on that you can count on. But we always say it, communication's key. Yeah. And I know we have some, scheduled meetings to kind of go over things because obviously I don't live near you guys, but yeah, I mean,
well, I think to add to that, Jordan, communication's key. And as far as camera gear goes, for those of you listening, I think the biggest thing is, and we all have a sense of procrastination, right? Even those that are just dialed and keep good lists. I think of myself as somebody that does not procrastinate. I keep a good list. If there's something that I feel like, needs to be ordered or something that needs to be done, I typically do it right then and there. Yeah. However, everyone drops the ball, including myself. I mean, everybody drops the ball. And I think the biggest thing here for you listeners out there is now is when you should be checking your gear and double checking your gear, not the night before season, which I know a lot of you will do. And when I say gear right now, I know you said hunting gear, and yeah, we do the same thing with our hunting gear, but we're talking about filming hunts and we're talking about camera gear. I think that's more important because hunting gear, it's like you have it or you don't, right? When it comes to like a flashlight and your release and your boots or whatever, binoculars, camera gear, is it still working, right? Are the
Yeah.
batteries still in good shape? Do we still have the cable that goes from, that audio adapter to the camera? Do we have backups of that cable? Are my headphones working properly?
Right. Is the
That kind
headphone
of stuff.
jack working properly?
Yeah, and that's a good point. We actually just sent in, we've got 2 cameras that have headphone jack issues. We're sending them in one by one. So one already went in to be repaired. When it comes back, we'll send the other one. I mean, we're fortunate we filmed throughout the whole year, but for those of you that are home and not filming much throughout the summer or very little, maybe you're shooting a lot of B-roll and not checking your headphones. Well, guess what? You're going to be using headphones here in another month or month and a half. So you probably should test audio, your wireless mics, your shotgun mic, test it all. And it's funny because, if you also go over at Bedford's, we ask them to see an influx in sales. Hey, do you have me okay?
Yeah, I got you. I still got your audio and everything. Yep.
Because it just said unstable. Did you see that?
I did not.
Okay. It said my internet was unstable.
Which is
So as
usually,
long as you got me.
I got you. I got all your words. I heard it all.
All right. All right. The downside of doing these Zoom podcasts. But anyway, they said that influx doesn't start till season starts. September, late part of August and into September. When, in my opinion, and kind of what we're suggesting to you here on this podcast, is Bedford should be seeing that influx in late July, early August. Because here's the thing too: even if you do it a week, to say there's stock of this product. Just right now, the U.S. is seeing in product availability. I don't care if you're ordering a camera or a pair of socks. We get product across the borders and across the ponds and so on and so forth. So check your camera gear, double check it, and then move on to your hunting gear. So I don't know.
No, it's I did lose your video, but I can still. Oh, there you are. There you are.
Huh. Yeah, see, it's my internet, man. I gotta call in and get it looked at. Because our internet's lightning fast, as you know here.
Yeah.
And so it's not good right now. But
that's all right.
You give me the warning, man. You're fine up there. Your Michigan internet's just lightning right now.
Well, it's because I was up at like 3 a.m. just winding that baby up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, mine's usually diesel powered, and today it's running on just a little bit of electric.
Oh, like those Toyota Prius, or those.
Chain driven or belt driven.
Bedford Camera provides everything you need regardless of your budget or skill level. Whether you're into shooting photos or filming your hunting and fishing adventures, you can speak directly to their outdoor division, so you can feel confident they understand your needs. The outdoor team at Bedford's isn't there to move product off the shelf fast. They are there because they care and to help you get into the gear that's right for you. With 7 store locations and a huge inventory of product, they have what you want, when you want it. Bedford Camera and Video.
So what about you, Jordan? I mean, do you have any, being out of state and not being right next to the gear that you run throughout the year, do you have any, I don't know, tips or thoughts that you can add to that to maybe help somebody that's in that situation?
So when I'm down there, I usually try to do a mental check of what we have. I always count batteries. I always count, check lavalier cords, how we doing on lavaliers, because those are super important. I always clean the camera gear. I always try to make sure that stuff's clean. So if I see anything while I'm cleaning it, then I know that there's obviously an issue. It's just trying to keep that mental,
Yeah.
that
well,
knowing
and I even say mental. I'd say physical, right?
Physical. Yeah. Physical. I was thinking about mental is not the right word. I mean, definitely was in the meat and the bones on that one. But for me, I hate losing stuff. I hate losing anything. I don't care if it's a $35 battery, which is, there's probably not even such a thing, but even SD cards, I know I counted SD cards because, we usually seem to have 1 or 2 that goes bad every year.
Yeah.
And as much as content that we're getting, there was multiple times I'd fill up both SD cards in a day, which is a lot of content. So you always got to have backups. You got to be prepared. And if you do fill up cards, multiple cards in a day, you got to remember that to dump it.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, it's hey, that's one thing I will say. I don't think we do enough of just these simple, like 15-minute podcasts where we let the listeners know what we screwed up in the last few weeks, right? Because no full transparencies. I mean, full transparency, we screw up. I mean, on every trip, there's something we're like, oh man, forgot to do this, or
yeah,
we said we were going to do this and we didn't do that, and I just feel like everybody can learn, right? And
oh yeah.
even when you know it, you still mess it up. But we got to do more of these, Jorden.
Well, and that's a great point. And I'll give one of my tips on that. And Tom, then you can give one. One of the things I know I still struggle with, but I've gotten better at. And Nick made this comment to me. Oh, I think this was probably 2 years ago. We were in Montana elk season, and I got these great photos. And when he came back to the editing room to put the episode together, he's like, "Dude, you got any like video to like?" Because like you nailed the photos. Like it would be sweet to have some like cutaways of that, because like it was rainy, like it just showed the ruggedness. I was like, "Oh, dude, I didn't even think about it, like I was in photo, and I've gotten better at it, but there's still times, I kick myself. It's like, damn it, Jorden, why didn't you grab 3 video clips,
to support the photos?
Yeah. And so it's just like,
that's tough. Like, what part of the hunt are you in? Are you in relax mode? Are you on an elk hunt where you got nothing really going? If you're things are kind of going on, you may see an opportunity and not get the photos and only the video. So that's situational, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
But the more you continue to do what you're doing right now is remind yourself, the more you're going to remember.
Yeah. And like you said, it's situational. Obviously, we hunt in a natural environment. So situations are big, but if you're stopping to take photos, for a deliverable, grab some video clips too. That's super important, because you never know when someone may call you. I think I just had something full, but
squirrel. The squirrel.
You never know if someone's going to call you and say, "Hey, you got a video clip of that," and you're like, absolutely. And that goes a long ways if you got that. So just try to be cautious of that.
I think, and that's actually a really good segue into kind of my tip on that. I see you're wearing the Montana Canvas hat, and we're proud to announce we just signed on Montana Canvas as an official partner for Become One.
Super exciting.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I guess the reason I'm bringing that up right now is because, as far as a particular list, like you said, make sure you get shots of that or shots of this, I shouldn't say the only, some of the specific deliverables and the things we need to capture for them is specific content of the tent, that we have. And they wanted specific things, like they want some drone shots, they want some shots of this and that. So my point is that those shots have now made it onto our deliverables checklist. Now, Jorden, you're familiar with this. To the viewers out there, what we create, this is a 2-part tip thing, so I'll get there. But what we create an Excel spreadsheet, and it has all of our partners listed on it. It has the photo deliverables, the video deliverables, some descriptions of what they are, and then it has another column for a check mark. Is this done? Or maybe 10 of 20 photos have been taken, so we know when we head out for the next trip, we got to keep chipping away at that total of 20, right?
Right.
So that's where those specific shots of the Montana Canvas have made them to. So first tip here, keep checklists, okay? When we're talking about ordering camera gear or checking camera gear throughout July and August, getting ready for season, keep an ongoing order, even if it's just a Microsoft doc or Pages doc or whatever, keep something going. So if you're like, ooh, we need to order another battery for our Canon R6, throw it on the list. Because if you say, okay, or you do a sticky note, or I'll go do that in a little while. No, if you have the ability, add it to a physical list. And that's why I kind of say, do something on your phone, because most of us always have our phone on us.
Yeah.
keep that ongoing list on your phone. That way you can transfer it to an email or whatever it may be later on. Same with the deliverables list. Now, the deliverables list for us, from a business standpoint, is a little different. I'm usually always at my desk, so I keep an Excel spreadsheet and I do it there. And that really doesn't change unless you add a new partner, like we were fortunate to just do. Part 2 to that tip, before we segue into the next part of this, I have so many checklists that I often forget to look at said checklist.
Yeah.
What did we forget last year, Jorden?
Oof.
Well, the deliverables list.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
you saying to me, we're out west, and you're like, man, it would have really been handy to have that deliverables list like you did last year. And I'm like, I did it.
Yeah.
But I didn't send it. So here it was finished, but I forgot I need a checklist for my checklist. Yeah. Okay. So here's how I am now handling this. And I've just recently started to implement this. Is now at the end of August, I have a reminder that comes up on my calendar that says, print deliverables checklist.
Yeah.
And it's going to be on a list of things I need to get ready for document wise for the fall. Nick creates a style sheet for our camera guys. I got these checklists for the deliverables. So I now have a reminder to print these checklists because you got so much going on, you forget. So a checklist for your checklist or a reminder for your checklist can be a good little tip there as well.
It helps out so much at the end. Like
it does. It really does, because you've got so much you're thinking about, and from the planning stages to the prep stages to the checklist, and then not to mention, if you're going on a trip, I don't care if it's even a week, then you got family checklists, right? You gotta do this for your wife or your daughter or your son. You got to fix this at the house before you leave. Make sure somebody's covered to do this while you're gone. So you add all this stuff together, you're bound to forget some stuff. So do your best. And if you're not a checklist person, you should probably start implementing them into your life, because if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably into this filming hunts thing even a little bit, and it's going to start to consume you more and more. So you're going to need a checklist.
100%. So you talk about, if you're listening to this podcast, I think that was a good little segue into this next part. We have some super energetic, hungry individuals. Fresh out of schools. Yeah, fresh out of the schools. And it was, and we've had other individuals that have taken the classes in the past as well that have been hungry. But man, there was just something about these 4 to 5 students that you could just almost see the fire in their eyes. Like, I want this so bad.
And I think we even have more of them now, Jorden, because we had I forget if it was 7, 8, or 9 brand new students in the editing course, which rarely ever happens.
Yeah. So
they haven't taken the field production yet. So these 4 or 5 we're talking about are individuals that took both the field production and the editing this summer. Mm-hmm. And they're hungry. And I guess the reason we're segueing into this for you viewers is part of our checklist is and it's a physical checklist. We have a cameraman schedule. It's an Excel spreadsheet again, and I have all of our trips and dates listed on it. And then I have who's hunting and who's the cameraman or cameramen on that particular trip. So we had to fill those gaps.
Yeah.
And not only do we have to fill those gaps, but because we work with so many TV shows and we have the graduate program implemented into Film the Hunt, we have other individuals that are always asking, hey, you got anybody that's fresh and new, exciting for the year? I need to hire some guys for the fall.
Yeah.
So these hungry individuals, guess who's going to get that work?
Yeah.
It's a really simple math equation here. We preach it all the time. Taking our courses is not the only answer, but it's an answer for sure for these individuals that are super hungry and say, I want to do this. How do I go about it? Educate yourself. And if you choose to do it through our courses, if you're hungry enough, if you're ready, willing, and able is what I always say, you're going to get work. You're going to get work. And then it's up to you.
I'm going to use this analogy. And if I said it correctly, because I see it so often, people that come to the school and are ready, willing, and ready, or no, not ready, willing. See, I'm not even paying attention. I'm thinking about this analogy. Like, I gotta say this.
Ready, willing, and able.
Yeah, ready, willing, and able. Come to the school, graduate. It's like a Hot Wheels track. You know how they go around the loop and then they hit the ramp. It's like as soon as they come through the classes, they hit that wheel, whatever, and it's just like, it is now. You like, if you're ready, it's gonna go.
Yeah, it is for sure. I mean, we've got several of these students fired up. Some will be on trips with us as early as early October. And then, so throwing out a couple names. And if you're listening to this and you're one of these, hey, we'd love for you to write a review on the page or comment on the video. We've got Cordell Brooklander.
Mm-hmm.
He's a student out of Arkansas, or Oklahoma.
Yep.
Cordell will be coming along doing some stuff with us. Bare minimum, one trip here in October for whitetail. Well, first we could start off with Butch Bauer.
Yeah.
Butch is coming along with us on a Colorado elk and bear hunt with one of our partners with Badlands. So he's super jacked about that, and we're happy to have him along on that.
Yes.
Cordell and Chris Hayes. Chris is another student. These are all students that came to minimum the field production and editing this summer. Butch Butch actually completed everything, even the advanced classes. And then we've got Jace Martinetto, who is going to Iowa, to our friend Cody and Casey out there.
Yeah.
He's going to Iowa with my good buddy Jason Califoot, or Foot, who does some things on the show once in a great while, but he's got that lucky ticket, that golden ticket.
Yeah.
So he's going to be going there on a bow hunt, as will Tony, Nick's dad. He's going there gun season, but he's got that golden ticket as well this year. So
yes.
But yeah, point being is these 4 students all went through the courses. 3 out of the 4 just this summer. They started out with the field production, went to the editing, and they're going to springboard off and do these trips. And I spoke to Willie Schmidt yesterday from Pure Hunting.
Yep.
He's actually excited about using 1 or 2 of these students for some trips this fall. And as you know, that's just the beginning for those individuals, right? I mean, they start now working not just for us, but getting on that graduate page and then working for some of these other shows. That's where it all begins. And then it's up to them. Good attitude, good work ethic, easy to be around to springboard and take it from there, you know?
Yeah.
We got good service through that. Were we okay?
We were. Yeah, absolutely. My wife texted me. She goes, "What am I taking today?" So I had to respond because she's got to go to work. So
yes, gotcha.
Yes. So, and one more thing on these students, we always say, once you take these courses, you still got to practice. Like it just doesn't become magic after you take these courses. You still got to, it's just like anything, you got to practice. And one of the things I always say, you got that to help you continue to be creative or encourage you, is go out and shoot like the fire hydrant. And I know I've said it before on the podcast, go out and shoot it 100 different times. It's a silly object, but how can you make that fire hydrant be creative, and how can you keep the viewer's eye, obtained? And like these 4 individuals have done that, not necessarily the fire hydrant, but they have practiced and practiced. Butch Bauer, even Chase, he's another one.
Ash is another one. Yeah. And he did some stuff with us last fall, interning. Yeah.
It's so awesome to see the passion, because these guys don't put the cameras down. They edit whatever they shoot. They like shoot. I want to use this as an example. Chris Hayes sent me a video link. He had a wedding, like I think the weekend after the school, after he left the editing school. He's like, "Hey man, can you check it out?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So I checked it out. I got back to him the next day. I said, "Hey, I watched it, but still, I want to watch it again and give you some notes." Well, he texted me back kind of what he had thought he needed to work on.
His own notes, sure.
And like it was so cool to see him recognize what he could improve on.
That's awesome.
And so it's like, okay, well, right, he gets it.
Yeah.
He already sees what he needs to do. So it's like, I really kind of don't. So Chris, great job on that. I hope you listen to this, because I wanted, to say awesome job. I mean, you are getting it, and that's a big deal.
since we're on the topic of Chris, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but another thing, Chris, this is a great tip for all you listeners out there that are wanting to do this and hungry and all that stuff. So we told Chris, we asked Chris, hey, would you like to join us in October? We've got this going on. Absolutely. He says 100%, mark me down, I'm in. He emails me or texts me a day or two later and he says, hey, he goes, I know I'm going to be running your R6. I'm not familiar with that camera. I know it'll be easy for me to adapt. However, I'm going to rent it prior to coming out there so I can familiarize myself with the camera and become fluid with it prior to me even arriving there. So
really?
Yeah. So I said, hey man, that's awesome. And, knock yourself out. So he had a couple of questions. I answered them. So he's going to spend a week or two with the camera prior to coming to us in October. So when he gets here, he understands how to run a camera. He's been through our courses, but right. Now it's going to be, where is that on the Canon? He's not going to have that hurdle when he gets here. Cordell already runs Canon, so he's not going to have that hurdle. My point is hats off, Chris. Listeners, take and learn from that. That's a guy doing his homework and doing everything he can to be as prepared as he can to knock it out of the park when he gets an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Kick the door open, knock it out of the park. And I'm pretty certain Chris will probably do that,
I mean, if not, he'll just do push-ups all day. I know he's giving him a hard time about that.
Push-ups and curls just all day long. Just, shame on me, I messed that up.
One day I got because I watched that video and then I scrolled to the next one. It's like him doing like deadlifts and I just got sucked into like him weightlifting.
That's kind of weird, Jordan. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, look how much weight that guy's lifting right now.
Into all of his weightlifting videos.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but I was just like, holy shit. Yeah.
Jordan's married.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, and I think to kind of wrap this up, come full circle. Mm-hmm. All prep for us is insane because we have a heavy workload as it is with what we need to get done before leaving. We're earning right now our time to go and hunt. This is where we're earning our living, earning our money, earning our ability to be able to be out there. So fitting in fall prep is extremely difficult for us, as I'm sure it is for all you listeners. I'm not downplaying what you've got going on this summer. Everybody's busy, but we make the time to do it. It's very important. I suggest you guys do the same. Plan ahead, prep by putting the gear through the ringer and make sure it's working. That way you can get your orders in, get things placed, get the gear in your hands and ready to rock, long before you're ready to climb that first tree or climb that first mountain. And I think that's and I guess part 2 to this synopsis and this whole podcast is, if you're hungry, if you choose not to take our courses, that's fine. But if you want it bad enough, just more proof in these 4 students on how the system works. They've courses this summer and they're already going to work this fall and taking the initial steps to chasing their dream or doing what they want to do for a living.
And there's more obviously more than just those 4 students.
Sure.
There's a giant list of it, but that's just
they're the ones that are shining and springboarding right now. And like I said to you, Jordan, I saw 6 or 7 or 8 others in the editing school that I think come next June are going to be another group because some of those guys came to me before the class was over and says, I'm signing up for the whole thing. I'm all in on this. And these individuals are not ready for where these 4 are at yet, but they will be next summer. So proof is in the pudding, as they say, man.
And it's so cool. Like it really is. It's fun to encourage these people and students to just go out and live the dream because you only get one chance at this life, so you might as well do something you love, And when you see people see that light bulb go off and that switch go off, it's just like, oh man, they got it. They are on it and they are gonna love it. So
it's rewarding, and it's rewarding to watch them. Like I've watched several of these students we're talking about have produced things since we left, put them on Facebook, YouTube and stuff, and I've watched them. Heck, some of them haven't. There was a specific student, Mike Stone. You may have seen the review he gave us recently after taking the editing school. He's only taken one of the best reviews I've ever received for the school because it was so heartfelt. It was I mean, that man truly enjoyed his time. He was appreciative of every second that we collectively, as a company or instructors, you know, from me, Nick, and you, to Melissa cooking the food and everybody in between, to all the people at Jurassic, he was like, it was really good review. So it is rewarding. It's rewarding to see the students shine, and it's rewarding to hear that what we're doing is making a difference and making people smile in their short time with us. So
yeah,
heck yeah, man. Hey, coffee cheers.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, brother.
Heck yeah, man.
Let's keep rocking. We got some elk to chase soon.
2021, time to get it done. We're kicking it off right now.
Right now. Let's go. Let's finish our checklist and let's go.
Sounds good, buddy. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, brother.